What's going on, guys? Your boy Man Jones here, and we here with an NFL reaction video. We'll be doing our Week 16 reaction video, so let's get started here. So before I give you my recap of my reactions for Week 16, don't forget to put a thumbs up to this video, subscribe to my channel more options, and comment down your opinion below to see what you think of my reactions. Now, I want to talk about Thursday Night Football. I want to talk about the Rams versus Seahawks game because this was a really fun game to watch. This could be game of the week. And it's game of the year too. The Seahawks won 38-37. Now, as I look at this game, it was a high-scoring game. Similar to when Seattle played the Bucs. So far, Matthew Stafford did outplay Sam Darnold. Seattle ran the ball better than the Rams. The Rams did outgain him by 581 total yards to 415 total yards. Well, I thought the Rams could have won the game, but all of a sudden, when they got into overtime, the Rams scored a touchdown. The game wasn't over yet. They gave Seattle a chance to win the game in overtime, and all of a sudden they did. And here's the thing: they converted They converted a 2-point conversion twice, which that's good. You gotta give a shout out to Puka Nacua. He's like one of the best receivers in football. He had a breakout game with 12 catches for 225 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns. That was good for him. So basically, this was a really good outing for the Rams, which I thought the Rams could have easily won the game while they're up by a lot, but all of a sudden Seattle was able to fight back, and win the game. So, yeah. Yeah, Donald threw those 2 interceptions, but all of a sudden, Seattle found a way to come through and win the game. So, yeah, it was a good win by Seattle. Now, I want to talk about the Packers. The Packers right now are like 9-5-1 right now, and they lost 2 of their games against the Broncos and Bears. Like, those are tough outings. Now, I want to talk about the Packers being frauds because right now the Packers are a little bit inconsistent right now, and we know it's tough, but I still think the Green Bay Packers can still make it in the playoffs though. But I feel like all they guys got to do, because they have to play the Ravens this week and the Vikings after that. They're going to have to at least win one of these 2 games, and then they're finally in the playoffs. So basically, I want to talk about the Packers being frauds because basically the Packers, the Packers, like, now, I don't even know what's going on with the Packers right now because this team's a fraud. Like, here's the thing. The Packers, if I would have thought about, if you look at Week 15, you could have just said they could have beaten the Broncos and they couldn't beat the Bears. They could have won those games. But all of a sudden, you blew it late in the second half where you just made the Broncos offense thrive, and now you let the Bears offense thrive and give the Bears a chance. Like here's the thing. Green Bay, had a chance to beat the Bears, but all of a sudden, when it got into overtime, the Packers went for it on 4th down at their 3 and out, and all of a sudden they fumbled, and all of a sudden they couldn't convert that, but they ended up recovering it, but there wasn't enough to get the first down. So it allowed the Bears to get the ball, to give the Bears a chance to win the game. And guess what? The Packers defense gave a big play to DJ Moore, which that allowed to win the game, which that's bogus. Like, how do you let the Bears come back on you like this? Like, here's the thing, though. Like, the Packers defense was playing good, like, all game long until they just let the Bears just come back on them. Like, the Packers offense could have did much, but all of a sudden it collapsed. Now, and this is why this team's a fraud. Because, they didn't have Micah Parsons out there. And also, they were missing a few other defensive players. And all of a sudden, the Packers defense did play well until it got towards overtime, late in the 4th quarter, where the Bears were able to score late in the 4th quarter, and they were able to kick the extra point to overtime. Like, I don't understand about this game. Like the Packers could have won, like they could have won at least by like six, like one score. Like if they could have won by one score. Like you could have argued saying they could have won by two scores. Like they could have though. But all of a sudden the Bears defense was able to get a stop when they need to, and their offense was able to get it going. So far as I'm concerned, the Packers are frauds, and the Packers could totally be in danger of missing the playoffs if they lose out. Because, like I said, they have to win out if they want to make the playoffs. Because you have the last two games, you got to play the Ravens and the Vikings. But I believe they could totally beat the Ravens because we don't know about Lamar Jackson because he's injured, and now the Packers quarterbacks are injured, and Malik Willis and Jordan Love. I don't know if he's going to play. We'll see. So, as far as I'm concerned, the Packers are just frauds. And my question about the offense, if they can't go out there and score, they're going to lose regardless. So, yeah, so far as I know, the Packers are frauds. I don't know if they're going to make the playoffs. We'll probably see what happens. Now, I want to talk about the Bears. I'm going to say don't sleep on the Bears. This is why you shouldn't sleep on the Bears. Here's why. The Bears right now are sitting in first place in the NFC North, and they are totally reaching the corner of getting the top seed in the NFC because right now I like how the way the Bears are playing right now. I like how the way the Bears are playing right now. They're playing with a lot of momentum right now. And so far, I like how the way their offense is playing. Like, offensively, they're running the football. I mean, Ben Johnson is a master class, and he's a good offensive play caller, and he's found a run game for this team. And so far, their passing game is improving really well. Guys are getting open, guys are separating, guys, they're just it was a screen passes, the Bears were getting dangers offensively. Like this could be like the best offense in football because guys are just moving the ball, guys are getting open, like they're scoring, their red zone offense improving. And so far, the offensive line is playing good, and the defense, so far is playing really well. Like they're taking the football away, they're getting stops when they need to. Like, trust me, like don't sleep on this Bears team. Like you shouldn't sleep on them. I know some people all over the world don't like the Bears, and I know I have some friends that don't like the Bears and all that. But at the same time, you shouldn't sleep on the Bears. I mean, the Bears are starting to find ways to win. They're finding ways to finish games when they need to. And I've been saying because the Bears right now are going to be a tough team to beat. If they find ways to finish and play with a lot of momentum, and they're starting to be physical right now. Because this team right now is starting to find ways to do it. So you gotta give credit to the Bears for beating the Packers because so far it was really good because at first they kind of offensively they kind of struggled to get things going until it got toward late in the fourth quarter they found a rhythm. But all of a sudden when the Bears had the ball back, the offense is looking good. You gotta give Ben Johnson credit because he's really calling good plays on the offense, and Dennis Allen's a really good defense coordinator as well. He's doing a really good job of the defense. So yeah, so you shouldn't sleep on the Bears though. But if the Bears, if they win out, they get first place in the NFC North. So yeah, so you shouldn't sleep on the Bears because right now the Bears are legitimate contenders. Now, I want to talk about the Cowboys being done because we all know this was going to happen. We all know that the Cowboys are done, and here's why Dallas is done. Now, so far, Dallas is on a 3-game losing streak, and they're 6-8-1 towards the NFL season. And we already know that they got eliminated from the playoffs after Eagles win on Sunday when they clinched a playoff berth. And so far, the Cowboys so far have not been looking like themselves recently, especially offensively. They've been looking good, but defensively, they have not been great. Like this is like 3 straight weeks this defense have not been able to get stops when they need to. Like I've been saying this for weeks. Like the Cowboys defense, if they cannot go out there and find answers for this, they're gonna lose. Because I'm just saying, because they're not really like playing well on defense. And Matt Eberflus could be one of the worst defense coordinators in the league. I don't even see him being the Cowboys defensive coordinator next year because he's not doing a really good job of the defense. He's all he's doing. He's just playing soft zone coverage, and he's allowing his defense to play soft. And I've been saying this for weeks. You cannot play soft zone coverage when you do not have pass rush. Like the defense has so many injuries. Like they didn't have DeRon Bland out there. They didn't have Quentin Williams out there. Like Overshown was playing like half of the game and then he rests due to an injury, and all of a sudden the defense could not get stops. Like you got good players on this defense, but it may not be good enough though. Like I've been saying, like Dallas pass defense has totally been the worst in football, but their run defense is improving a little bit. But they can stop the run pretty well. But now their pass defense has not been playing really good because they're giving up so many explosive plays down the field, giving up screen plays and all that. Like like the secondary so far has not been playing really well and they look lost. And all of a sudden, they cannot get pressure on the quarterback. Guess what they did against the Chargers? They cannot get pressure on Justin Herbert. They allow 0 sacks because here's the thing. They cannot get to the quarterback. And they've been terrible against getting a pass rush. Like if you cannot get pressure on the quarterback, it won't help out your secondary. Like all of a sudden they're going to be giving up deep balls. And all of a sudden I want to have a question about the offense because so far the offense was playing really good in the first half until when it got towards like the whole second half, they couldn't score a point. Because I've been saying this for like almost a couple of weeks. Because if Dak can't go out there and score 30 points or more, they're going to lose. And his offense cannot get it done. And so far, the offense couldn't even get it done. They couldn't really keep up. Because all the Chargers did, their defense was able to get stops, and all of a sudden, the offense was able to move the ball. Like I've been saying, like the Cowboys got to start doing better offensively and defensively too. But now it's too late to make changes now because now this team's 6-8-1, and we know this team's not going to the playoffs. I mean, I don't know to say. I'm really done. And by the way, thanks to the Cowboys, it was nearly almost a disappointing season. I think they can finish out the season strong with a high note despite being eliminated. So yeah, let's get started here. Let's get started with the next one. The Chargers are legit contenders. Now, I want to talk about the Chargers being legit contenders because right now they're 11-4 on the season, and all of a sudden, they have totally been on a hot streak so far. Because so far, they have won their last 4 games, which is pretty good. And so far, the Chargers are chasing the Broncos in the AFC West. So we'll probably have to see because so far, the Chargers, I like how the way their offense is playing. So far, so far their offense is playing good. They are running the ball, they're throwing the football. Like they've been really good converting on third down, and so far Herbert's playing good football. And we know the offensive line is dealing with injuries, but they've been playing really good so far. And the defense is playing at a high level right now. I mean, they're stopping the run, they're stopping the pass. Like this could totally be a top defense in football. This could be one of the best defenses in football. Jesse Minter is playing aggressive football, and Greg Roman's a really good offensive coordinator as well. Calling good plays and all that. So yeah, so far the Chargers are a dark horse team, and as we all know, they're gonna make it back to the playoffs. So yeah, so far I like how the way the Chargers are doing. This coaching staff's improving. So yeah, so basically the Chargers, they're legit contenders in the playoffs. So yeah, so they're chasing the Broncos. So we'll see who's gonna win the AFC West between the Chargers and the Broncos because all the AFC teams are chasing a 1 seed. Now, next topic I want to talk about the Bucks. Because so far, the Bucks are in serious trouble because right now the Bucks have lost 3 straight games in a row. They have lost to the Panthers, Falcons, and Saints all division games, which that's crazy to say. Like I need to talk about the Bucks because they are in serious trouble because right now, like I said, they lost 3 games in a row. And here's the thing, I want to talk about Tampa Bay because so far, Tampa Bay, like they're a weird team to predict because so far the Bucks have not been looking like themselves recently. Like offensively they're looking good, but defensively they have been very very inconsistent on defense. Like here's the thing about the defense, like they are 23rd in total defense, 27 in passing defense, but 7 in run defense. I mean, run defense is pretty good, but the pass defense is not great. Like they just lost to the Panthers in convincing fashion. Like they only lost like by 3 points. But if I would have thought about it, they could have at least easily won the game, but it all came down due to I mean, it all came down to like the Bucks not getting stops when they need to. I mean, the offense kind of choked at the end where the Panthers defense got a stop and they only lost by 3. But I've been saying about the Bucks defense all day long. Like they need to be better defensively. Like they're giving up so many big plays, and Todd Bowles, like I've been saying, he's like one of the worst coaches in football. Like he's better as a DC, but not good as a head coach. Like why is he like I don't get I don't understand like why is his defense not playing as good as he can? Like Like, so far, like, his defense has not been performing the way it should be, and all of a sudden the offense just starts to like it's okay, but they have been up and down. Like, yeah, but as so far, the defense so far is starting to choke at times where they cannot get stops. I've been saying this, like, how do you not get stops when you need to? Because so far the offense, you just let the offense just thrive. Like, yeah, but Bryce Young, he had 2 passing touchdowns and had 191 yards. And so far, you stopped their running game, and you outgained by 296 to 275, and you still lost, which that's crazy. Like, how do you lose this game when you have more total yards than Carolina? I don't understand. As far as I'm concerned, the Bucks are frauds, and the Bucks probably not going to go anywhere. Like, they're probably not going to make the play. They could be in danger of missing the playoffs, but they still have a chance to make the playoffs because they have to play the Dolphins and the Panthers again. Because if they win these 2 games, they're totally in the playoffs. And if they lose to the Panthers again, then they're probably going to miss the playoffs, and Carolina's going to win their division. Like, I don't know anything about the NFC South because that division's a joke. Like, it is, because Atlanta and New Orleans are both eliminated from the playoffs. And so far, the Bucks so far have gotten revenge by losing to one of these teams. So yeah, so far this team's looking in serious trouble, and they have not been looking, and they've been a little bit inconsistent. So yeah, I'm just hoping the Bucks can change. So yeah. So I want to talk about the Panthers, to the playoffs. Let's talk about the Panthers to the playoffs. Now, so far, the Panthers so far have been not losing consecutive games in a row. Like, they have not, because every other week they've been finding ways to finish. Like, they have not lost consecutive games since like early on in the season. So it's been early on in the season that Carolina hasn't lost consecutive games. Like, Carolina has been finding ways to finish. Like, offensively, they've been looking a lot better. Bryce Young is nearly playing better, and the defense has totally been playing a lot better though. Even though they don't have talent, their defense is playing good. And Dave Canales, he's a really good offensive play caller. Now, Carolina so far has played the Seahawks, and they got to play the Bucks again. I feel like if Carolina wins out, then Carolina's going to win the division. But if they lose out, then Tampa Bay is going to win it division. So yeah, so basically Carolina has nearly turned the corner. So yeah, so basically Carolina, I can see this team making the playoffs, so they can go on a run. I mean, they've been finding ways to pull off upsets though. Like, they've been finding a way to pull off upsets. Like, if you look at that, Carolina, They really upset the Rams. They upset the Packers. They swept the Falcons. They upset the Cowboys. They beat, they upset the Dolphins and all that. And also they upset the Bucks. Like they've been finding ways to at least close out games and win. So I don't know about Carolina making the playoffs. We'll probably see about that. Now, I want to talk about the Lions being frauds because so far the Lions have lost 2 straight games back to back, and they're 8-7 right now, sitting third in the division. Now, the Lions so far could totally make the playoffs, though. Now, the question is, could they do it? We don't really know because right now their Super Bowl window could be closed, and they've been finding ways to at least not close games out. They've been finding ways not to do it. I don't know why, because so far the Lions have not been looking like they've been very inconsistent. They lost 2 of their last games back to back, which that's crazy. Because so far the Lions I mean their offense has been playing good, but all of a sudden when they got towards late in the third quarter, the Lions were literally struggling offensively to get things going. Like guys were getting open, guys weren't separating. And I wouldn't blame the whole coaching. I mean, Dan Campbell is calling plays. And I don't really blame their new defense coordinator. I don't think he's bad, but he got some moments there. But the Lions defense so far has been up and down. They've been way too predictable where, the Lions so far, they were giving up so many big plays. And, the reason why they were giving up big plays is because they were so tired and because they'd be on the field majority of the time. Like the Lions, their defense so far got ran over by the Steelers. They just let the Steelers rush for over 200 yards, which that's crazy. And the Lions cannot run the football. And they had 15 rushing yards, which that was the least total. They couldn't run the football. And the Steelers' run defense was playing really good in that game. And so far, the Lions' defense cannot stop the run, and they still can't stop the pass. Jaylen Warren was cooking them. He was tearing them apart, and he had about 143 rushing yards off of 14 carries and had 2 rushing touchdowns. And so far, the defense was playing at his best. Now, so far, they did win the game, though, which the Lions, I thought they could have easily won the game, but it all came down to the penalty on the pass interference call on Amon-Ra St. Brown, where all of a sudden the Lions did score a touchdown, but all of a sudden they did not call it back. They just let it slide and just ruined the game, and that allowed the Steelers to win the game. You might as well give the Steelers credit because their offense so far hasn't been able to click. They've been able to play well. You might as well give them credit. They've been playing better. But the defense so far, is not really playing the way it should be. Like the Lions, they could have made a comeback though. They literally had a chance to, but it just that the offense messed it up and all that. And it all came down to the referees calling a pass interference on the offense. But the Lions, they were able to get when the Steelers had penalties on defense, it allowed the Lions to get a first down, which that did put them in position to have a chance to win the game on a game-winning drive, which it pretty much did. But it's all ruined now because I don't really know about the Lions making the playoffs right now because so far this team right now is falling apart. And I feel like if the Lions, if they win out, they could totally make the playoffs. But if they lose out, if they lose another game and win one, their season's over. They could totally be eliminated though from the playoffs, which I would not be surprised. So yeah, as far as I'm concerned, Lions are frauds and they cannot be trusted on the point spread as well. Not even against good teams. I'm saying give the Steelers credit. They did a really good job so far, especially on defense, getting stops, and offensively for moving the ball. And I just don't really know about the Lions having enough talent. I mean, they still got good players on defense, but they're dealing with injuries on the defensive side of the ball. Like Brian Branch is out for the year, so is Terry Arnold. Kirby Joseph's out for the year. Now you got to rely on your backup cornerbacks and DJ Reed to step up. Like they do got, and they got Jack Campbell and they got McNeil. Like they do have some good players on this defense, but it may not be good enough though. And the offensive line has totally regressed as well. So yeah, so far as I know, this Lions team is totally falling off, and now they're frauds. Now I want to talk about the Steelers. Now, the question is, can the Steelers make the playoffs? Now, let's see. Because so far, the Steelers right now are sitting at 9-6, and they're still in first place in the AFC North. And so far, the Steelers, are on a 3-game winning streak, and they have been finding ways to at least win games. Now, I want to talk about the offense so far. Now, on both sides of the ball. So far, the Steelers' offense right now, it has been playing a little bit better as of lately. Like they've been throwing the ball a lot better. They've been running the ball a lot better. I mean, Jalen Warren had a breakout game against the Lions. They're doing a really good job converting on third down. So far, the defense has totally been playing a lot better. Like especially, I thought getting rid of Darius Slay kind of helped their passing defense. And I feel like their pass defense has been playing a lot better. And their run defense has totally been playing a lot better. And yeah, I understand TJ Watt hasn't played for 2 games, but their defense has totally been playing really good without him. So yeah, that's a good point right there. And Aaron Rodgers is playing better right now football. And Mike Tomlin seems like he's doing everything. He is doing everything to keep his job. Even though I heard the fire Mike Tomlin chat warrants and all that, but now I found out that Mike Tomlin's on the hot seat and he's doing everything to save his job. So yeah, and so far, the defense. So far, the defense has totally turned the corner. Their offense turned the corner as well. So yeah, I don't know if they're gonna win the division. We'll see what happens because I feel like if they win out, they clinch the AFC North. But if they lose out and the Ravens, win against the Packers, then the Ravens find a way to win the division. So far, I don't really know if the Steelers gonna make the playoffs. We'll probably see because the Steelers got to play the Browns next, and they got to play the Ravens after that, like 2 back-to-back division games. So yeah, we'll see about that. Now I want to talk about the Jags being legit contenders. Now, so far, the Jags right now are legit contenders in the AFC because right now they're sitting at first place in the AFC South, and they already clinched a playoff berth with a win against the Jags. A win against the Broncos. Now, I like how the way Jacksonville's offense looked against the Broncos. I thought they were moving the ball really well. If I look at it, Trevor Lawrence had 279 passing yards, 3 touchdowns. They couldn't run the football, but their passing offense was a lot better. They did get outgained by 445 total yards by the Broncos, but all of a sudden Jacksonville still won the game, and so far their offense was clicking. And the defense really played really well too. Yeah, the Broncos defense did sack Lawrence 5 times, but still the Jags won the game and they won by 2 scores. That's where their offense moved the ball, and their defense did play at a high level as well. And Liam Cohen is doing everything with this offense so far. I feel like his play calling is really good, and he's totally have changed his culture in Jacksonville so much so far. And so yeah, and Jacksonville's doing everything they did to make the playoffs. And Like I said, they're on a 6-game winning streak, and they've been riding high so far, and they've been hot so far. I don't know if they're gonna now. I could really the question is, can they win the AFC South? We don't really know because their schedules vary. Because right now, they got to play the Colts coming up, and they got to play the Titans next. Because I feel like if Jacksonville wins out, I feel like they win the AFC South. But if Jacksonville loses out and Texans win out, then Texans win the AFC North. Win the AFC South. So far it's going to be between the Jags and Texans because right now the Colts so far they're falling apart and they're looking to not be a playoff team this year. So yeah. So far the Jags they're just legit contenders right now and they've been playing a lot better ball as of lately. So yeah. So that's all I gotta say for Jacksonville. And now, the last thing I want to talk about is the Ravens are disappointing because the Ravens right now are 7-8 right now, sitting in second place in AFC North, and they have lost to the Patriots. Now, I want to talk about the positives. I want to talk about the Ravens because so far, the Ravens right now, they have been built. They have found they almost beat it like the Patriots. Though, here's the thing. I like how the way the Ravens looked at offensively, I like how the way the Ravens, I like how the way they looked offensively, because so far the Ravens, they were on a fast start when Lamar was playing, and all of a sudden Lamar gets hurt, and they put Tyler Huntley in. And so far, I like how the way the Ravens did on offense. They were running the football. Derrick Henry had a nice game. He had 2 rushing touchdowns for he had about 128 rushing yards off of 18 carries. And the Ravens ran the ball better. And all of a sudden, this offense so far did look good. And Zay Flowers did a good game. So, yeah, I like how the way the Ravens looked offensively. And defensively, they were looking good until they almost fell apart. And Drake May had a breakout game for 2 passing touchdowns, 380 yards. I want to talk about the positives. I want to talk about the negative about the Ravens. Now, the Ravens could have at least beaten the Patriots, though. They could have, though. Because basically they had a chance right there. But all of a sudden, Zay Flower fumbles the ball. And then Derrick Henry fumbles as well. This was crazy, though. The Ravens could have won the game easily, if the Ravens didn't turn the ball over. But they did. Because if they didn't turn the ball, they could have won the game. This is almost a wasted season for the Ravens. Because so far, they have not been finding ways. They have not been finding ways to close out games when they need to. And the reason why they have not been able to do that is because, like I've been saying, they've been able to blow a lot of leagues and they can't beat elite level competition like Kansas City or Buffalo when it matters the most. And so far, Zachary Orr has been the biggest problem for this defense, for the Ravens defense. But Ty Monken, I like him. He's a really good offensive play caller. But at the same time, the defense have not been playing really good. And so far, their offense has not been playing to the task as well. But you can say they went on a fast start against the Patriots, but so far they end up falling apart because of the Zay Flowers fumble. And all of a sudden, the Patriots won that game by 4 points. If the Ravens did not fumble, they could have easily won the game. They could have at least won the game by I would say they could have at least won the game by 3 points. They could have though easily though because they were up by 3 and all of a sudden the Patriots jumped back up on them. The defense nearly choked until it got towards the end where the offense choked and where the clock kept running at the end and all of a sudden the Patriots win the game. This is crazy for the Ravens. And this is why it's disappointing because I just don't really know if they're going to be able to win division because if they win out, I feel like they could win division depending on what the Steelers do because I feel like if the Ravens win out, they win division. But I feel like if they lose out, then I feel like the Steelers are going to win the division. Because, right now the Steelers are in first place in the AFC North, and I don't know if the Ravens can chase them because right now Lamar Jackson's injured, and the Ravens offense has not been playing really well right now. And their defense has not been playing really good as of lately. But you can argue saying they did play good last week against the Bengals, but now this week is different where they kind of struggled a little bit. And this has been very, very wasted season for this Ravens team. Like, they have not been finding ways to do so, and they have not been finding ways to close out games when they need to. So as far as I'm concerned, the Ravens are frauds, and now they're looking like a fringe playoff team, a borderline playoff team, recall. But now they're looking like they're not contenders no more. And I feel like this Super Bowl window is closed for them because right now they have not been living up to the task, and they have not been finding ways to finish. Like, you can argue saying that Week 13 was their worst performance ever, and Week 14 was not really good, but Week 15 was better. But at the same time, the Ravens have been disappointing. They've been up and down lately. And I don't even know if they're going to be able to win another game if Lamar Jackson doesn't play. So basically, we're going to see what happens because this Ravens team right now is totally, 7-8. I just don't really know if it's too late to make changes, but it's probably going to get close to doing it because I feel like if they lose this game to the Packers, their season's pretty much over. So far, the Ravens are just a little bit disappointing. Now, I want to talk about this last topic I want to talk about the Patriots are legit playoff contenders. Because right now, I want to talk about the Patriots being legit playoff contenders because right now the Patriots, for the first time in like 4 years, the Patriots are back in the playoffs. And the reason for it is that the Patriots are playoff contenders is, here's the thing. The Patriots have the best record in football. And so far, they're 12-3, sitting in first place in the AFC East. And so far, they have a legitimate shot to clinch the AFC East. Because that's what the Jets and the Dolphins had. Because if the Patriots win out, they clinch the AFC East. If they lose out and the Bills win out, then the Bills clinch the AFC East. Now, I want to talk about about the Patriots so far, because so far I like how the way their offense played, and so far their defense has played up to the task. I like how the way they played on defense, and so far, the offense has not been playing. Like, the offense is playing really good. Drake May's playing like an MVP. Like, the receivers are playing good. Like, Stephon Diggs is playing good. Trayvon Henderson's playing really good. Keyshawn Bodie's playing really good as well. Demario Douglas, Hunter Henry, Mac Hollins. Like, the receivers are playing good. The O-line's playing really good. The defense so far is playing at a high level as well. And Mike Vrabel's gotten his guys going. And Josh McDaniels, I feel like bringing him back kind of helped their offense. And he's been a really good offensive coordinator as well. And so the Patriots so far, they're legit contenders in the playoffs. Now, the question is, could they make the Super Bowl? We don't really know because right now, I still have the Patriots being playoff contenders. I just don't really know who's going to go to the Super Bowl. But we're going to see what happens when I do my playoff predictions. So, yeah. Patriots are legit contenders and totally going back to the postseason. Well, those are all my Week 16 reactions for this week. Thank you guys for watching. And don't forget, if you disagree with me, just let me know in the comments section below what you guys think. So, yeah. So, this is your boy, Man John, big fan. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel more often to see more of my NFL reactions videos. And you can see my playlist of them. So, yeah. Well, thank you guys for watching. See you guys later. Peace.